Hey, yo,
What's poppin'?
what is popping? We are here with unit what? 4?
3 or 4, something like that.
Moles and stoichiometry. Should be doing this after chemical bonding,
Yes.
before physical behavior matter.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to hit up learning targets.
Stoichiometry. Look at that big bad word.
Moles. We're not talking about the little furry creatures that grow and
No.
live in the ground. We're talking about something else in chemistry.
Yes.
So our first video, as always, with its learning target, what are we going to learn?
And how are we gonna learn it?
Yepper. So let's hit it up. So themes. How do you count atoms if they're too small to see, Nels?
We got away, and I'm not telling you.
That's right. Don't tell me.
I'm not telling you.
Yep.
But you got to be able to know that
We're going to learn how to count.
Yeah,
For sure.
and what information is actually in a chemical formula.
So much information, and once you understand all the little parts, you're going to be like, well, that's kind of easy. If you really understand.
And then a chemical equation, very similar.
It has a lot of other information, like atoms and stuff.
You're not
like
supposed
that.
to tell them.
It's got lots of information.
Lots of information.
Lots of information. How do you use chemical formulas and equations? They're important. They're like recipes.
I knew he was going to say it.
But that's not exactly how you use it.
Nah,
Not exactly.
not exactly. But, it's a great analogy. Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
By the end of the unit, you will be able to define a specialized unit vocabulary specific to moles and stoich.
Like always, you'll be able to define the term mole as well as the basic unit of measurement used in chemical quantities and its origins. A little history. I love that.
Yeah, we didn't even celebrate Mole Day. But, you and I don't do that very much.
Well, it's not until 6/23.
I thought it was 10/23.
6/20. We'll argue
See?
about that later. There's 2 mole days.
And Pi Day.
Yeah.
We need to count moles of atoms in a chemical formula and moles of molecules in a chemical equation.
I can count.
Yeah.
This unit's all about counting.
Counting. Lots of counting.
A lot of counting.
But you got to get it right every time.
Absolutely. You're going to have to be able to use the number of moles of atoms of each type to determine a gram of formula mass, which is another way that we, again, count chemicals
Yep.
in chemical equations.
And there's a POGL on this.
Yep. It's typically, this is so easy, and then you forget it. Don't forget it.
And then here's the catch. Ready? Dimensional analysis. So we're going to start being able to convert.
Back and forth.
It's
not that bad.
It's our favorite.
It's not that bad.
Hopefully it's not your nemesis.
Everybody hates the term, but it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
So you can analyze a compound's percent composition using that important gram formula mass and moles.
Sounds like a lab to me.
It certainly is.
Nice. Subscripts to convert molecular formulas to empirical formulas.
Right.
Ooh, sounds like we'll need to know what those two things are.
This unit's got a lot of relationships back to fractions and lowest common denominators.
Can we have a
and stuff
fraction
like
freak
that.
out?
That's why people freak out in this unit, because
Seriously.
it's like you don't understand the basics of a fraction, and then all of a sudden it's like, quit. But anyway, you got to be able to balance a chemical equation to obey the law of conservation of mass.
Yeah.
And it's a process. It's a little bit involved, but it's not that
This is
bad.
the part that I like. If you liked doing covalent bonds last unit and putting the puzzle pieces together, this is like that for stoichiometry. This is the puzzle you got to solve.
Right. It definitely is a puzzle that you got to solve.
It's kind of like the puzzle you got to solve, and it's neat. So if you like solve puzzles, this one will work.
Yes. And the last little bit is using a mole ratio to predict amounts of products and reactants used or produced in a chemical reaction. Like I said before, you use a chemical equation like a recipe. Well, what happens if you have more or less of one of the ingredients?
Right.
Well, we know that it's going to affect the amount of what you can make.
Sure.
This mole-to-mole ratio stuff, using fractions, freak out, is how we as chemists do it.
And we actually use this. If I need to make so much stuff, I can back calculate to know how much to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. You need to be able to classify chemical reactions as 4 different types: synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, double replacement. You need to be able to tell me, looking at a reaction, which one of them is it?
Yeah, and just basic chemical equation notation. Some of the symbols you'll see in there, you need to know them so that you don't get confused.
On this.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Cool. Dance.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and it's a good one.
There's your assignments. Be aware some of the page numbers might have changed a little bit, but the whole idea persists. You start on the first and you move to the last.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you work it. Use it as a checklist.
Please.
Make sure that you're getting everything taken care of. And how long do you think our students should take to complete this unit of study, Mr. Noakes?
Well, at this point in the year, generally every unit is 2 weeks, 2.5 tops.
2.5, 3 weeks is where you should be shooting for this one.
Okay.
I looked at the calendar, and if you're spending 3 weeks per unit, you got plenty of time to finish the year.
Yeah, well, the thing is that when you finish the year, you want time to prepare for the Regents exam.
Exactly. You don't want to finish the last unit of study on the last day of class.
No,
You're screwed if you do.
And for my students, you guys are going to have this available to you over Thanksgiving break. So let's be honest. Do I want you to do schoolwork on Turkey Day? No. Can you do some in between football games though, like on Sunday or during Saturday? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? So.
Yep. And for my students, I was looking at the calendar and it's looking like, after Christmas, we're going to start this stuff. So you guys got to pick up the pace. We are behind World of Inquiry and it's not a competition, but I want you to have enough time to finish everything this year. And you've got to be the difference there. You have to do the homework. You have to spend some time outside of class. Because if you're not picking up a pen while you're away from me, you're falling behind.
Right. And then him and I both experienced this last year, even being at different schools. We had like 2 wind days and a snow day. It ended up being 4 days off, but
Christmas break, Regents Week,
like
all of a
2
sudden,
weeks. And all of a sudden it cut into the time we had.
Before you realize it's going to be February and you're going to be like, oh, geez.
Right. So this is a lesson that him and I've learned that we're trying to have you not learn firsthand. The sooner we're done, the more review you have. The more review time you have, the better you will do.
And it's facts.
Peace.
Click the button and turn off the video. I hope they're not recording this part.